Tiffany here with Years of Years, and Brad's hanging out today, and it's this day in Disney for September 21st.
Wow.
Yep. So starting off, Ruth Patricia Shellhorn was born on this day in 1909 in Los Angeles, California.
Wow.
And so maybe someone you haven't heard of before, I would guess.
Yeah.
No? She, in 1955, was working in South Pasadena, California as a landscape artist about 3 months before the opening of Disneyland.
Wow.
You can probably see where this is going.
My grandfather was a landscape architect.
I know, that's why I thought you'd like this information. And Walt actually asked her to contribute her talents to the theme park.
Wow.
Right. So, 1955, and believe it or not, she was, well, I'm sure you can believe it, she was one of the very few women that were out there working on Disneyland, especially in her capacity, as she was a liaison between the studio and two other guys that Walt hired, the Evans brothers. They actually helped landscape his Homely Hills home.
Like around the train and stuff? And everything? Wow.
Yeah, and so he was like so happy, you know, of course. He's like, come help me with Disneyland. But they just didn't have all the expertise that Walt needed. And Ruth Shellhorn filled that role. She was actually trained at Cornell University.
Wow. Right,
so she came in, she was liaison between them. It did cause some difficulties because one, she's a woman, but two, she was a very, organized, orderly person. And the Evans brothers were more, work by the gut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, get into the dirt.
Like how you work sometimes.
Sure.
You just get out there and feel it.
For sure. Throw it all out into the yard. Yeah. My family has been in the nursery business for generations with plant material and growing material and planting material and for sure.
And you're talented at that.
Well, I do love it.
And it's something
comes.
that your grandfather is really talented at, and they did lots of landscaping things. So you're very familiar with how these things go.
Yeah, he actually called himself a lantographer, and even copyrighted the name with the government. Like he invented that name, lantographer, to really highlight what he did and what he planned. So and it sounds like she planned and was capable of planning for Disneyland between the worlds.
Well, yeah, I was going to get to that. Well, she was responsible for Town Square, Main Street, the Plaza, and eventually other areas of the park, including Frontierland. So just to go to her background for a second again, she was known just by the time that, she passed away and everything, she was known to develop the Southern California look. So what is the Southern California look, that's really Ruth Shellhorn.
Wow.
She had a focus on indoor and outdoor living, and she incorporated topography and nature into urban settings. Okay. I think that's even come out and influenced lots of our society.
Yeah.
So
I think we lost that in the late 70s and 80s, and during the 90s there was a real resurgence that started on rooftops but then went to parks, so we could have used her quite a bit.
Yes, and so like I said, she studied at Cornell University, and at the time she wasn't awarded a degree because this was the 1930s. So for what she was studying and what she was doing, I don't even know if they had the kind of degree that they have now, but in 2005 Cornell University gave her a degree in architecture and or degrees in architecture and landscape architecture.
Wow. I love those honorary degrees.
Yeah, so this one was more than well deserved. She was professionally trained, which when she came back to California in 1933, that set her apart from even men. People weren't professionally trained in landscape architecture. So they just did it. Pretty much, you know, it wasn't what it is today. So if you can kind of think of that, she was a groundbreaking person in the field of landscape architecture. Nice. So getting back to Disneyland and how it looks. So you were talking about going from land to land. Mm-hmm. Think about how seamless it is to go from Main Street and flowing out into the different lands, and how the topography changes and you don't really realize it, but it's magical and you feel it. This is really what Ruth did. Because that was Walt's dream, he envisioned it, he wanted that to happen, and she was able to make it happen.
She executed.
So
nice.
The Evans brothers, they did great work. They did a lot, and we can go into that when we do this day. But there was definitely, like, you know, something that Walt achieved by hiring these 3 people to work together. I won't say, I'm pretty sure they did not get along. There's some stories there, but that kind of was needed to make what happened at Disneyland happen. So sometimes you need that friction for things to really happen. So really interesting lady. But yeah, the main gate, like the Mickey Mouse.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right
like
at the front of the train station, like, but well, I mean, it's different at Disneyland. But sure.
I think it was Walt's idea, but she made it happen.
Very nice.
I think he wanted it bigger and bigger, if I remember what I heard in a podcast or something. But you know, just really interesting.
Very nice.
Yeah. I find it impressive because, I mean, think about, that's just like at Pandora now. It's the same concept. Like, you go from Africa at Animal Kingdom, you go from Africa to Pandora, and it's a seamless transition. This concept happened because of collaborative work between these people in 1955, and Ruth Shellhorn was really behind a lot of that.
Yeah, they set a standard for theme parks.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely had Cypress Gardens here that has a great relationship with Disneyland's history, but you know, theme parks on that level, multi-worlds, like, they definitely defined it. Right.
I don't think we like appreciate it enough, but it's what makes us feel that magic, and I don't know, it gives us all the good feelings. Because if you had something that's choppy and just like cut here, like, okay, you're in Adventureland now, it would feel, it would not have that flow and beauty that we feel when we go to the parks. It's just part of the magic. So I love it. So really neat lady, Ruth Shellhorn. And then next up and also she worked with plants and all that stuff when she was a kid. So she's one of those that just had a love for something and did it her whole life.
Amazing.
Yeah. So next up on this day in Disney in 2010. Not too long ago, Tinkerbell receives the 2,148th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Wow, wonderful. Very deserved.
We're like, wow. I didn't really realize how many animated characters have a star.
Sure. It seems like a rare honor.
Yeah, it's like the Walk of Fame, and us people don't have a star, but the animated characters do, right?
Of course.
Of course they do. So she became a Disney character in 1953, obviously, in the animated Peter Pan. And then later she was featured opening the long-running Disney anthology television series, The Wonderful World of Disney. You know, when she...
The intro and
absolutely. So cute.
Just like she does in Soarin'.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, she's a huge career with Disney. She does lots for Disney. So.
The saddest thing right now with park closings is looking up and seeing the wire from the castle to Tomorrowland.
But no Tinkerbell.
No Tink.
We miss
Soon
her.
enough.
Literally my favorite moment of the fireworks shows.
Seeing her little neon body fly through the air. For sure.
Yeah. So she joins Mickey Mouse, Kermit the Frog, Donald Duck, Snow White, and Winnie the Pooh.
Of course.
Cute. With their stars on the Walk of Fame. And on the same day that she got her star, the Disney released the DVD Tinkerbell and the Great Fairy Rescue.
Oh my. Direct to DVD.
Yeah, we definitely had.
There's quite a few of those.
Those Tinkerbell.
Well, 3 or 4.
We had the Tinkerbell.
Oh yes.
Well,
Our
we still have
daughters
them.
loved them.
Yes, they really love the Tinkerbell.
For sure.
You know, movies. They're pretty dramatic.
They can be.
They can be really
They can
dramatic.
be. Yeah.
So I know I watched a few more than once, but you know, that's what you do with your kids.
That's right.
So anyway, interesting. Hope you guys learned some new stuff today. I know we did. It was lots of fun. Loving Disney history, and we hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.